It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
New experience. New experience. Yeah, we're back.
We're back, baby.
It's official. We are back. Feels good to be back. All right, let's get this on the road, shall we?
I wanted to say we are back in black, but I felt like that might be a little insensitive.
Yeah, a little bit. A
That's,
little bit.
that's what they used.
Possibly.
That's what they used to say in the old Men in Black. They're back in black because it's the black
Yeah,
suits.
one is a black guy. One is a black guy. One of them's a white guy.
An old
Okay,
white guy.
we're like black. Yeah, we're like Men in Black, I guess.
Well, I'm wearing pink and blue, but that's besides the point.
I have red, white, and blue on. America.
America, baby.
Yeah, America. Yeah, yeah. Oh
Uh,
man. All right. So I think we should actually start the show finally. Yeah.
yeah, let's start the show.
All right. Start it up, man.
All right, I guess that went down a little bit quicker than I thought it would.
Well, you know what? You know what? I'm not gonna touch that one. It's too easy. Anyway, hello, and, and welcome, and welcome to episode 14 of the R&R Gaming Podcast, the
Yeah.
return of the R&R Gaming Podcast, part of the Joystick Entertainment Network. I am your host, Byron Reed, and alongside me in our glorious return is my co-host,
Ken Russey.
Ken. It's been a while, my friend.
Yeah, it has. I'm not even sure. Am I supposed to talk into this silver thing? How does this work again? Do they
If you're
get to
talking
do they
into
get to see me? Like, did they see that? I don't know what's going on, man.
I don't know, man. I don't know how radio works. It's complicated.
Oh, wait, this is
But
radio?
yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
But we are back. It's been a long time. Been about 3 months, I believe, since the last
Yeah.
episode.
I don't know if it's been that long because we did a couple of live episodes.
Oh yeah, we did. That's right. True. True. We did the E3 ones. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe about a month.
Yeah, it's been about a month.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds about right. And I will go into all of that later on towards the end of the show. But for now, talk about some video games. What we have come back to do.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I said yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, without further ado, let's jump right into our news segment, shall we?
Sure.
All right. So, got some news here to talk about. I really only have one big piece that I wanted to discuss. So, and I think you have more than I do, yeah?
Yeah, I have quite a bit more.
You know what? That's all right. It's all right. It's been a little bit, but like I said, I only had one thing. So, if you want to go ahead and start, I will let you take the floor, and then you can tag me in when you're ready to switch.
All right, sure. So, to start, we have PC Gamer has named Witcher 3 as their number one game out of a list of 100. And as somebody that hasn't played Witcher 3 but really wants to play it, and I think, B-Man, you've played Witcher 3, do you feel that's a fair assessment? Like, could
Oh
this...
yeah, no doubt, no doubt. I am still playing Witcher 3, so that should say something to you right there.
Well,
I mean, well, it probably says a few things.
yeah,
One,
yeah.
one that I really love the game. Number two, I haven't actually beaten the last DLC, which is actually the case.
Uh,
Um, but I'm working on it. But I mean, I'm taking my time with that game. I really enjoy Witcher 3. It is
and
the gold standard for RPGs
and
now.
3, that you're addicted to something else.
Yes, right now, yes.
Yep.
We'll get there.
Yeah. But looking over at the list, just their top 5. These are their top 5. Witcher beat out Borderlands 2, Dark Souls, Skyrim, and Half-Life 2 to be the number one game on their list.
All those games are solid games. There's no doubt about that.
Right? Yeah, I don't know, for me, Borderlands 2 is a fun game, but I wouldn't put it higher than the Borderlands 1. Like, even though Borderlands 2 has more to it, more features, bigger maps, more maps, it's just, it doesn't have the same fun factor, Borderlands 2 to Borderlands 1. So I'm a little surprised at that. Or for me, I wouldn't put it higher on that list. Honestly, I probably wouldn't even put any of those games in my top 5 PC games. Like, I really want to play The Witcher 3, but again, I haven't had the chance to play it. But maybe this will kickstart my adventuring and get me to go and play it, since they're touting it as their number one game.
I hope so, because we really need to talk about that. We need to have a whole episode dedicated to Witcher 3. I have the perfect people along to talk about that with. That'd be great. Right.
So that's all I had to talk about Witcher. So the next thing that I want to talk about is that LA Noire is getting re-released for all of the major consoles.
What?
That's right, yep. So Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Nintendo Switch are all seeing a re-release of LA Noire, and it's coming out this year. It's supposed to come out November 14th this year, and they're supposed to even be with the Xbox and PlayStation 4. It's supposed to be 4K compatible, so if you have a 4K, if you have like the Xbox One X or the PS4 Pro, it's going to look really nice on that. Obviously, the Switch won't run at 4K, but it will have portability. And they've talked about there being a VR version that they're going to be doing alongside.
That could be kind of dope.
Yeah. And I think that's coming out on the HTC Vive VR system. And I don't know if there's been words yet on any other VRs like PlayStation VR or Oculus or whatever. But again, the Switch is also supposed to be using the Joy-Cons, and it's going to be using them and the touchscreen and all that in your investigations for the game. So I know that was really fun for me. It was one of my fun games that I had. But yeah, so that's kind of all I had to say about that.
Is it a remaster? Is that what they're doing? Are they up-resing the graphics and all that stuff, or?
Well, they are up-resing it to 4K quality. It doesn't say, like, right now all we got is the image that you guys can see on the screen. That's kind of all we got. So it doesn't say if it's LA Noire, the remastering, or HD or whatever. I imagine that there'll probably be better textures, though, put on the game, kind of like what Ubisoft did with Assassin's Creed Collection.
Okay.
Where they did up-res them and they look better, but it's still, still kind of the same jaggedy-looking game. That's what I would guess. But I haven't seen anything yet for the former or latter.
Okay, because I was asking because if that's the case, then I will just keep my regular copy of LA Noire that I still have, because I really enjoy that game. So I'm glad that they're bringing it back and re-releasing it.
Mm-hmm.
But if there's no up-res of graphics or anything, then for me anyway, there'd be no point in me getting the game, other than to support Rockstar.
Yeah, because Rockstar needs your money.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they need more. They're good. They're gonna get more of it once Red Dead comes out.
Yeah. Well, no, I think you have a good point there. That it kind of doesn't make sense to buy the game if there isn't much difference. But this will have all the DLC, so if you didn't get any of that before, I myself, I never actually beat the game.
Okay.
And so this is one of the few Rockstar games that I actually enjoyed playing. So I may get it on the Switch just so that I can play it on the go, have it with me, and check out the Joy-Con features and all that good stuff.
Yeah, it's really different from the other Rockstar games that you're not really a fan of. So,
Right.
I'm glad that you like it. And Nintendo, man, they're getting that support that I talked about a while ago.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Support, which is good.
And that might be a good thing to do, because maybe if this does good enough, they might put Grand Theft Auto 6 on the Switch.
Oh my God. And it's so funny. The first half of LA Noire, when Cole is at I forget the name of the desk, but I think it's Murder, actually, like Murder Desk or whatever. But there's just so much nudity everywhere in all the cases, and a few years ago, if you were to say, "Hey, Byron, LA Noire is going to be on a Nintendo console someday," I'd be like, "Okay, whatever."
That's
because like that doesn't really usually fly. Most like the primary Nintendo games are very kid friendly and all that. So that's my whole point, really.
Yeah, I get that, but the hell are you looking at? Because I didn't see any nudity.
Well, nudity in terms of the bodies.
Well, I remember there were crime scenes with naked women.
Yeah,
that was like the fourth case in the game.
Yeah, but again, that's what I'm referring to, though.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah. So I'm just, but again, like I'm really happy that they're doing that. So I hope that it is a up-res of graphics and all that stuff. I would love to see that game with the picture technology they had for that game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
with modern day graphics, that would be fantastic because it looked really good when it came out.
Right.
But if you picture that now,
I think they they have to, because if you're gonna up-res it to 4K, you're gonna notice some low-res graphics really easy. So I'm sure that they're gonna up-res the graphics and make it a full remaster.
If so, depending on how much it is, they may get some money out of me. They might. They just might. So, onto my news bit. I know it's been a while, again, like I said, since we've done one of these, and I hadn't had a chance to talk about it with anybody and or on the podcast in general, but I did want to discuss the fact that Mass Effect Andromeda will no longer be getting support through single-player DLC, through patches, or there's still going to be multiplayer stuff, but last I heard, but not any big patches or single-player DLC, which is very sad, if you're asking me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very important because the Mass Effect franchise is one of my favorite franchises of modern gaming, and seeing that game be shut down, after what I would call a short amount of time, it kind of bums me out. And there were so many stories that they could have expanded upon through DLC, namely being the big thing at the end, which I usually don't like spoiling things for people. So I guess I won't here. It's been long enough.
Not for me.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna spoil anything, and also you haven't played the game either. So
well, I also haven't played Mass Effect 2 yet.
True. So yeah, I'm not gonna spoil anything on the big ending and what happened at the end. I'm not gonna spoil any of that, but there are tons of loose ends that they could have expanded upon through DLC, and one for sure that I thought they were going to expand upon in DLC. Shame we're not going to get it. But anyway, this is the statement from...
Okay, so real quick, before you get into that, I just have hopefully a quick question. What would you rather have? DLC this year, which causes Mass Effect Andromeda 2 to be 3 years later before you get it? Or no DLC this year, but some Mass Effect Andromeda next year, the sequel.
I would take the DLC and then the Mass Effect 2, Mass Effect Andromeda 2.
Okay.
Just because the usual DLC for Mass Effect throughout all of the trilogy was really good. So I would take a DLC or two of story-based content.
So you'd rather get a DLC pack and wait 3 years than no DLC but get a full game next year?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Interesting choice, but yeah, so
yeah.
Sorry, you can go on with your. That was all I had to say.
Yeah, no, I read the whole statement, and well, here I will read it. Again. Yeah. I read the whole statement, but yeah, like I said, it's really unfortunate that the whole thing had to be shut down. It bums me out really badly.
Yeah. So you don't want to read the statement again?
I can. I'm just worried I'm going to lose it again. Lose the call again. I had to bring up Google to do it.
Oh, that's what happened?
I guess. Let me see. Bring up Google. Okay, no. Okay. Well, I still see the Hangout option there.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. All right. Let's do this again. Radio. Professionalism. Yeah. Okay. So, I'm going to read the statement again. Since the release of Mass Effect Andromeda, we've worked hard to address feedback from our community. From improving animations to expanding customization options, we look to respond to your concerns and build on what you loved. With each patch, you let us know we were heading in the right direction, and we are grateful to everyone who joined us on this journey. We're proud of what we created, and we hope you enjoyed it as well. Early in development, we decided to focus Mass Effect Andromeda's story on the Pathfinder, the exploration of the Andromeda Galaxy, and the conflict with the Archon. The game was designed to further expand on the Pathfinder's journey through this new galaxy with story-based Apex multiplayer missions, and we will continue to tell stories in the Andromeda Galaxy through our upcoming comics and novels. I'm not going to spoil that last part for you of that statement. Our last update, 1.10, was the final update for Mass Effect Andromeda. There are no planned future patches for single-player or in-game story content. In the coming weeks, our multiplayer team will provide details of their ongoing support and upcoming content, including new missions, character kits, and what's in store for N7 Day. We appreciate all the millions of people who came with us to the Andromeda Galaxy. We hope to see you again in the Mass Effect universe.
Yeah, so it's definitely sad if you really liked Mass Effect Andromeda.
Yeah, and my thing with Andromeda was that it was not the game that I wanted by any means, and there were issues with it, which in my opinion the criticism was rightfully deserved because you had all of this time to make this game, and whether it was EA who rushed it out, whether it was BioWare who decided no, this is good enough to release and we'll just fix it later, I don't know, and that's not my place to comment on that. But you know, it's just sad that things had to end this way for Andromeda, and now we have Anthem, which is in the works, and both the Edmonton team and the Montreal team will be working on Anthem. It's a big combined studio project, so I'm interested to see where it goes. We'll see, BioWare. They did say, though, that they do have plans. Casey Hudson is back at BioWare, in case you didn't know.
I don't even know who that is.
Yeah, yeah, he's one of the bigger names at BioWare who left. He came back a few months ago, I believe. But he worked on the original trilogy with a few other people. He's back, and he said that he would like to go return to the Mass Effect universe at some point, but now's not the time. So hopefully we'll see it, but it won't be for a long while because, like I said, they've got Anthem, which is a quote-unquote 10-year plan, and then we've got Dragon Age 4, so it won't be for a while till we see the next Mass Effect installment, whatever that may be.
Yeah, and
hopefully they bring it back the right way.
I think Andromeda died just because of sales. Like, I don't know why, but I don't think enough people wanted Andromeda because I picked it up for $30. I think it was May.
Yeah,
and it had just come out in March. So
yep, the price did drop quickly on that.
Yeah, and so that makes me think nobody bought it. Either everyone played EA Access and they went through the bugs and were like, this is no good, or no one wanted Andromeda to begin with, which seems kind of weird.
I don't think that people didn't want the game. I think that there were a lot of people who wanted the game just because of the amount of hype, from me and from people in the BioWare community in general. I think people did want the game. I just think that when it finally came out and when people got to play it, some people realized that, hey, this isn't what I thought it was going to be, and I'm disappointed. And that feedback, if you are a community, one of the spokespeople for the BioWare community, and you give your review, and you say, hey, it's not what I thought it was going to be, it's this, it's that, that in turn will turn people away from whatever it may be.
Right, but that
because there are people out there, who will make their purchasing decisions based off of someone's review, a person they consider to trust, their review, whatever it may be. So,
I mean, that's true, but as far as I remember, it got decent reviews.
Yeah, decent. Mass Effect doesn't get decent reviews. That's my point. Mass Effect's getting, 8s and 9s. The original trilogy, I don't know the scores for all those, obviously offhand, but pretty sure most of those got 8s and 9s. Could be wrong. So a decent Mass Effect score would be like a 6, 7. It's not a Mass Effect score. In my personal opinion, it's not.
Maybe that's just a new generation coming in, but still, I swear it got like solid 8s across the board.
Yeah, right.
So,
could be wrong. We can go back and take a look at it at a later date.
Right.
Yeah, you had 2 more, right?
Yeah, I still had 2 more things, but I was also looking up the sales for Mass Effect Andromeda. But apparently it doesn't want to tell me. Because no, I was looking here. I'll bring it up here. Be patient, people. No, so here's Mass Effect Andromeda. Sold. Yeah, abysmally for the PC. So it sold 1.6 million copies globally. And when you compare that to like Mass Effect 2 that sold it sold about 5 million copies globally. So when you compare it to that, like whether it's people just aren't buying it or they waited for reviews and reviews weren't favorable, or I really think it's that people fell in love with Shepard, and it's kind of like, well, we want to tell this side story, way off in a different galaxy, so none of your favorite characters are going to be there. Well, if none of my favorite characters are there, why am I playing a Mass Effect game? Like, the characters that I fell in love with from the first game, if they're not there, what am I doing?
Yeah.
I think
now I see that viewpoint, and I agree with it. Agree with it to a point. But I could look at another BioWare game, Dragon Age. Dragon Age does not do what the Mass Effect trilogy did. Every game for Dragon Age, which I believe you've played all of them. Have you played all of them?
Nope. The only one I've played extensively was Inquisition.
Okay. Well, the Dragon Age series in general, does not do that. They don't have a set protagonist. The characters in general, some of them appear in other games, but not all of them do. For example, Morrigan. Morrigan is in Mass Effect 1. I'm sorry, Dragon Age 1. Dragon Age Origins.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't appear again until Inquisition. There's mentions of her, but she doesn't appear again until Inquisition.
Well, wasn't that one of the complaints about Dragon Age 2, though? Was that it was a whole new cast of characters, and the engine, or not the engine, but the gameplay wasn't like Origins, and so it was terrible?
There were complaints about that kind of stuff. I do remember that kind of stuff being complained about. But, so, you know, again, I mean, it's valid, don't get me wrong. People have the right to feel the way they do about that sort of thing, and I get it. But,
like,
it's just one of those things where if you... I don't really know where I'm going with that, so go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say that with Dragon Age, though, it was a new game, and then the sequel said, hey, we're not going to keep with the same set of characters. And so the next game, it was a different set of characters, and, you know, in the third one or fourth one, whatever, they brought in characters from the first one, but it was still a different set of characters, right?
And they also brought in Hawk from your male or female Hawk from Dragon Age 2.
Yeah.
And there are mentions of characters from Origins. Main character in Origins is the hero of Ferelden, I believe that's what he's called, or something along those lines. But yeah.
Right. So
he or she. Yeah.
But my point there is that they've set up those rules. Like with Final Fantasy, there's 14 games in the series, in the main series anyways. None of those have the same characters appearing.
Right.
And that's been set up. That's been established. That's the way Final Fantasy does it.
Right.
Mass Effect? No. You actually continue your game over. Like, when you go into Mass Effect 2, you go in and put in what you did during these events so that it pulls the information from the first game into the second one.
Absolutely. You're correct. Absolutely.
So now you have Mass Effect has established that not only is it a continuation of these same characters, but they're going to continue your choices. The choices that you've made will matter. Which that could also be one of the problems with why Andromeda didn't sell very well. Everyone was pissed off that their choices didn't matter in Mass Effect 3.
Towards the end, yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, I mean, that's a possibility too. But they've also set it up that your characters, you're going to continue to play as these characters. And this is the way the series is. We're going to play as these people. So you come out with Mass Effect Andromeda, and nobody is from that original series. They're starting over. It's fresh. It's new. And you're alienating those people that want to continue the story of the main character. That want to know what happened after all the bad stuff happened in the third game. So I kind of feel like that was the biggest problem, is that people are creatures of habit, and they want to stick with their people. They're people that they've formed a relationship with, and the Mass Effect Andromeda didn't do that, and so the majority of people just didn't buy it because of that. And I think that's why we're not getting any DLC, unfortunately.
That very well could be the case. The sad thing is we will never know what the real reason is, unfortunately.
Right.
But, to wrap this one up, it's sad, and unfortunately it happened. I have high hopes for the next Mass Effect game, whenever that may be. Won't be for a while, though, so I will not be getting any excitement from Mass Effect, as far as that goes.
Yep.
Unless I go back and finish 2 and 3 again.
Right. Alright, so yeah, let's move on to my next news story. Which is about this video game in Japan coming westward called The Lost Child. And it's interesting to note that this is an RPG from Sawaki Takikasu. Hopefully I didn't murder that. But this is the guy that created El Shaddai, which is that crazy...
Oh,
yeah. Is that crazy messed up game?
I remember that game, yeah. That demo had me interested. Never bought the game, but the demo had me interested in it.
Yeah. I bought it, but it's sealed somewhere. But yeah, so it's from this guy. It's you play as a reporter who ends up gaining the power to befriend angels, demons, and fallen angels. And I think it might be a bit of a roguelike where you're going down into random dungeons. I don't know too much because they haven't explained a lot. Because it just got released in Japan, or it's about to be released in Japan. And then we're supposed to get it next year.
Okay.
And so I think it looks cool. The artwork and all that good stuff. And you know me, I'm a JRPG sort of man, so
yeah.
So I'm definitely interested in that. And so the last thing here that I wanted to talk about, I'm gonna send you a link, and hopefully you don't kill the call.
Hopefully not.
when I make you click on this, so that you can be aghast in horror with our people here. But they have announced that a new Nightmare Creatures is on the way.
What?
And yeah, I think we talked about this
snap.
In like our
Nightmare
first...
Creatures.
I know. We talked about this in our, I think it was our second episode. We talked about how we used to play it, and they revealed this at PAX West this year. And
PAX.
Yeah. Not much else is known besides they revealed a little bit of the story. That you're... Let's see. I'm Carly, leader of the Brotherhood of Hekate, and wants to use magic to take over the world. However, their experiments lead to concoction that turns people into monsters. And then these become their soldiers. And so it's up to us to fight back and protect humanity against these nightmare creatures. Did you look at the image? Because it's kind of nasty. I'm guessing that he looked at the image and then it killed the call, and so we don't get his reaction. Oh.
My phone killed the call. Of course it did.
Yeah, I figured that out. But yeah, did you check out that image?
Yes, I did, yeah.
Pretty nasty, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, our viewers are looking at the image right now. So maybe we should go on to our next segment.
Yeah. I realized that we forgot to do our "What Are We Playing" segment in my haste to get to the news. Realized we forgot to do that.
I mean, it's all good. I don't know if we...
Yeah, we can save that for another time.
Yeah, we can just move on to our body of the show.
Yep, correct. Right to our main topic of the show, which tonight is going to be sports games, because sports are back.
Hey,
sports are back. Well, the fall sports are back anyway. I personally am still in baseball mode because baseball guy. But anyway, those sports people really care about are coming back. Football's back with Madden 18. We've got NHL 18 coming around the corner. We've got NBA 2K18. And for me personally, we have WWE 2K18. We can talk about all of those.
Yep. What about NBA
So,
Live?
yes, thank you. NBA Live. Forgot one again. So, we can start with Madden since it's out currently. We
Right.
can talk about that. So, the big thing for Madden this year is the long shot story mode. That was the thing they worked on for, for a few years,
Yep.
and it's finally here. It's out in the wild. People had a chance to play it and everything. For those that wanted to try it because they were curious, or because hey, this is something that may get me into playing Madden.
Right.
But whatever your reasoning may be, you played the mode, and now we've had time. Let's talk about it a little bit.
All right. Well, I just want to say that probably the biggest thing for me was that they jumped to the Frostbite engine instead of being on their, what did they call it, the Infuego
Ignite engine?
Yeah, the Ignite engine. So they jumped from that over to the Frostbite. And that's my biggest thing. But to talk about long shot, I don't know, like it was a fun experience, but I don't really know if I would be sad if it wasn't in Madden 19. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you told me that they're not doing a long shot or they're not continuing the story of Devin Wade in Madden 19, I'd be like, okay, cool, whatever. Kind of.
Right.
So I don't want to say that I enjoyed it a lot, but I mean, on the same side, I didn't hate it either. So,
right.
I don't know how to explain it, but like, I mean, the acting was terrible. It wasn't that good. And I don't know how I want to explain this without spoiling it, because I don't want to bring up spoiler central, but
right, yeah.
I don't know, it was just kind of off.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, we can talk about, certain characters, that you thought were, or, however you want to frame it, man.
Well, I mean, I guess let's put it this way. For the story, if you've watched the TV show called Pitch that was on Fox, that was the story of the first female baseball pitcher, or just player.
I have not seen that.
Oh, you should look it up. It's pretty good. But the problem is, it's like the exact same story as this long shot mode. Like, right. I kid you not. Like, they're so stupidly similar that I was kind of bored playing long shot, because I was like, man, I've already been here, done this. Like, you couldn't be more original than this. So, yeah, so definitely, Byron, check that out. If you got Hulu, I know it's on Hulu. I don't know if it's on any other platform like Netflix or not. But for sure, check it out because it's good. And I almost feel like, too, the game's graphics subtracted from the story itself. Like, they show the opening scene, they're like going down this small town, and there's like 2 cars parked, but there's like no people walking around, or it doesn't feel alive. Like, even a little bit later on, Colt and Wade are both, they're driving down the road, and they drive past these 2 construction workers, and there's just 2 of them. What are they doing? I don't know, because they're just on the side of the road flinging their arms about. And it's like, there's no construction machines like cats or diggers or anything behind them. There's nobody working behind them. They're just there on the side of the road to wave as Colt and Wade drive by. And so it's things like that. Like, I felt like it would have just been better for them to go out and film those scenes live and then switch to the gameplay characters when it came time for you to play.
That would be kind of jarring. So that reminds me of like the way Need for Speed used to do their cutscenes and stuff. You'd have the live action characters and whatever, and then it would switch back to you being in the car or whatever it may be in game. Or like NHL did it a few years ago. They had the commentators in the booth. They were actually there, in real life,
right?
Talking back and forth to each other. I guess behind the green screen or something or other, and then you would cut back to in-game footage, whatever it may be. Can be kind of jarring for some. For me, that would be a little jarring. Personally, it would take me out of the experience rather than the opposite.
It's interesting because, yeah, I think it would have put me into the experience.
Yeah, but I would just prefer that the assets be done with in-game assets if possible. But anyway, I mean, I personally really enjoyed Longshot. I don't know if I've said this to you or not off air, but one of my favorite parts were the 7-on-7 games and the high school games, because that commentary is fantastic. It's
That's true.
One of the best things about that mode, in my opinion, and the final big game that you play at the end is very exciting as well. There are some less than stellar performances, in my opinion, as far as acting goes. Like Chad Johnson's or Chad Ochocinco's performance.
Yeah.
What are we calling himself now? Yeah,
he was pretty flat. Yeah,
it was okay, but it wasn't all that great. But he's a football player, not an actor, so there's that. But no, I thought that overall, though, besides Ochocinco, the acting was really well done. Yes, some of it was over the top, like Ross Fountain, the sleazy guy who's running the show over there. That was a little over the top, but personally, I mean, I enjoyed it. It added to the story that they were trying to tell, which is different from most sports stories nowadays. Anyway, you've got every sports story now in video games. Anyway, hey, you're this, top prospect, or you are the number 1 overall pick in the draft, or whatever it may be. Your path to stardom already. With this, it's a different story. It's a different version of that. You are not this star prospect anymore. You were at one point in time, but life happens and things get in the way. And that, to me, is what really struck me about the story, is that they made Devin, while at times not seem like the sharpest tool in the shed at certain points. I can understand why he's like that, though, but they made him feel human. There was a point where him and Colt were in the car, and he's listening to radio, and there's a fan bashing one of the high school kids for not playing well or whatever it may be, and Devin goes off. Why? Who are they to judge? Who are they to judge this kid? He's just a high school kid. He's a human being. He's not a robot. He has feelings, and Devin, the passing of Devin's dad hit him hard, and that's what really caused him to stop playing football. So, the human aspect of it was really nice for me to see, in terms of a storytelling standpoint. As far as the mini games and all that stuff go, one of my favorites, besides 7-on-7 in the high school games, was the mini game where you have to call plays and relay them back to the coach.
Yeah,
that was my favorite. That was my favorite one, just because, number one, it replicates what actually goes on in the NFL as far as memorizing plays and all that stuff, and it puts you as well as Devin in a very uncomfortable situation. Devin's never called plays in his life. Uh, and you, like I said, you and Devin get put in a situation where you have to remember the play and relay it back to the coach to the headset. And
Yeah.
it's a really stressful situation. I like that they did that for people. I like that a lot.
Well,
And it shows you that a few things. Number one, it's not as easy as these guys make it out to be, and that Madden's play calling is kind of simplistic, which is fine.
yeah.
It's a video game, that's fine.
Um,
But that's not the way plays are called in the real NFL.
yeah.
What I'm saying.
You know what that reminded me of, though?
What?
When I was doing that, it reminded me of, like, way back in the day, Madden 96. Whenever you created a character, they had this little mini game. Yeah.
Yeah, you
And-
press the button or whatever.
Yeah. Well, you'd
Yeah.
you'd have the coach that would be like, up, down, left, right.
Yep.
And so
mhm.
you'd have to remember and match what he was saying.
Yep.
And that would, I guess that would give your player his stats depending on how good you did that.
Yep, I remember that. I remember
Mm-hmm.
very well.
So yeah,
I
so
was
that reminded
terrible.
me of that when I was doing the Yankee Twist Banana Y2 Spider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool stuff.
Yeah.
But I really liked Long Shot though. I personally I want to see it continue because I got invested in the characters and their story. Once I finished, I was like I said, I was invested in Devin's story and where he goes from here. So I hope to see it back in 19, and I am excited. So if it were me, I would say kudos, EA. You did a good job, and you did something that I thought was going to be very hard to do, that most people would pass over and not even give it a second thought.
Right.
And there are people like that. There are people on Operation Sports who were still not giving it a shot, which is totally fine. Do you? It's
Well,
your money, man. It's your game. Play how you want. I don't
Yeah.
care.
And I will agree with you that when you played the game, that was fun. Like the different moments, the 7-on-7s. Like when I was playing that, it reminded me of NFL Street, and
Yeah,
it made me sad that we don't have a new NFL Street game.
Yeah.
But I did love playing the modes where you're trying to hit the targets and you're, picking the plays and that. And when I got to play, yes, that was fun. But when I wasn't playing, I just felt bored. And, it's one of those things. Like, I think you will totally agree once you see the show I'm talking about, which came out last year. You'll be like, yeah, this is this is eerily similar to what was going on when I was playing Long Shot. But
Okay. And that could very well be the case.
Mm-hmm. So, are we wanting to talk about the rest of the game, or do we want to just skip on?
We can, sure, yeah, definitely. Why not?
Yeah, just because I excuse me,
You're okay.
late night last night, early morning. I was up playing Mutt Squads.
Mud Squads is a lot of fun.
It
I
is
have
a
played
lot
with
of fun.
It is a lot of fun.
I mean, it's a different beast entirely because there's certain things that you cannot do as the quarterback when you're playing as the quarterback. Like passing, when you're passing to your real life teammates, you can't lead pass at all. Because if you try and let's say your guy's running to the outside and the defender's on the inside, so you try and lead pass it to the outside so the defender doesn't catch it.
Yeah.
Your teammate's just gonna go off into no man's land, and that's gonna be it. There's no yeah, there's no
You gotta be watching.
getting them. Well, it happens too quickly. And because of the delay with Xbox Live, if you say, "Hey, I'm throwing it to the outside," too late. It's already gone to the outside, and they didn't stop to catch it. So it's an entirely different beast, and I'm proud to say that my record is just under 500. So
there you go.
I think that's a good thing because I don't consider myself the world's best Madden player, and I don't like cheesing, so I'll use different plays and different formations when I'm picking them, just because I don't want to cheese. I still want it to be like a realistic football experience. But yeah, I am just under 500 with my wins and losses.
Very nice.
This is the moment when Byron's reading a text message he just got.
No, I had a phone call that I had to wait and finish, let it go through.
Oh.
I don't like doing the whole button thing. Rude.
Gotcha.
Because then it's like, oh, he saw it.
Yeah. So anyways, but yeah, the move to Frostbite has been great. Certain animations between like wide receiver and defenders, and animations between like running backs and tackles, and even I recorded a video where I was standing in the pocket as the quarterback, and this lineman came in and he reached out his arm, grabbed my quarterback, and pulled him down. And I was just like, that's a great animation. Like, you would not have seen that in Madden 17 or 16 or even 15. So I want to give him kudos just for the realism and the amount of, I guess, animations that make it feel like it's a real and unique game.
Yeah, Frostbite has definitely helped that game this year a lot, because I mean, without it, there's not much else to it, in my opinion, this year.
Right.
If you are a franchise guy like we are, there's not much else to the game.
Well, I mean,
besides the additions like Mud Squads and the improvements to Mud and Long Shot, there wasn't, franchise mode was barely touched besides the draft board and a few other little tuning things.
Right. I mean, I get what you're saying, but I hope this is the last time I'm saying this, in that they've given us the cake, and now we just got to wait for the frosting and the toppings and all that stuff before we can eat it, you know?
Yeah.
So, because I mean, you can say, oh, there's no new features and CFM is broken and blah, blah, blah. But
yeah, good.
I would rather have the gameplay be solid, because CFM was fine the way it was. Like, it wasn't perfect, but it wasn't like this is unplayable, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So, yeah, so as long as they get that gameplay right and the game plays like the way we think it should play, then I'm going to expect the presentation to be better, and for them to get on the ball with doing stuff like that. And I've actually noticed, I don't know if you've noticed, but when you're playing a game in the CFM, the franchise mode, and somebody else's game has been played and they were an earlier game or even a game that's at the same time, they will give you updates.
Yeah, they will. That's really cool. I love it. I remember them saying that they were going to do that, but I didn't know if they were actually going to do it for, online leagues and franchise, or, online leagues with other users. To see that they did that makes me really happy.
Yeah, exactly. Because that was something that they wouldn't do unless it was a CPU game and it was on the ticker. And now you actually have the commentators, like they'll actually talk about the game while it's going on. Right.
And that's a great touch for realism and immersion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if it's in the future, then they don't tell you the score. Like, if it's already been completed, they don't know, so they won't tell you until you get out of that game, and then you can find out.
Right. Like, if you have, and I'm pretty sure if you have the Monday night game, they'll chime in on a few scores from throughout the week.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I'd imagine it'd just be your game that they're exclusively talking about.
Right.
It's awesome though. Madden's in a good place. I'm just waiting for them to take the next step.
Right. I don't know. I feel like this is the next step, but I'm waiting them to take it to the next level.
Okay.
I feel like they've been taking steps each year, and they've been improving each year, but they need to get to that next level before we can really like say this is the greatest game of all time.
Yeah, no doubt about that. No doubt, my man. No doubt. So let's move on to the basketball games, yeah?
Yeah. Which one you wanting to talk about?
We can talk about live first, I guess, since it's been a little bit since the EA Access trial has been out and all that. People had a chance to play through the one, and to a point anyway. And that mode is interesting. I'll be honest, I spent all my time in the one mode, not with doing the play now game or anything else. I just did the one. So my whole talking points will be about the one.
Yeah, well,
I really enjoyed the one. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that was really the only thing worth talking about.
Okay, fair enough.
Like I played the play now, but it wasn't all that. Like if you played the one, you played the play now.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But no, man, the one was really good. The animations, as far as NBA Live goes, I've seen people talk about, oh, it's too stiff or whatever it may be. But I think that's just you being used to 2K and you being used to the faster style of game that 2K is.
Yeah.
Live's game speed is slower. It's slower and more methodical than 2K's is, which I think is a good thing.
Well, it's funny that you bring that up because I was just reading on Twitter today. People were complaining that this 2K Prelude that came out plays just like Live 18.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. I agree, we'll get there.
So I mean, I didn't really notice the speed. Like, the speed seemed to be fine. What I did appreciate, though, was that there wasn't a speed or frame rate difference from playing online versus playing by myself, playing against the CPU. Like, it was consistently the same speed. So if I played online with you on the one, then it played exactly the same as if I was playing the CPU on the one. If that makes sense. With 2K, that's a problem that I've always had, is that you'll play in against the CPU in my career, and it's fast, it's fluid, you're making shots, and then you go on and play with people, and it's like slow and clunky, and you go to jump, and your meter goes whoop, whoop, because it's too slow, you're not ready for it, it's either overshoot it or undershoot the bar. And so that's something that I really appreciated from NBA Live, was that consistency.
Okay, I mean, I had the opposite experience. Mine wasn't, terrible, but there were issues with latency and lag, if you will, button delays, things like that, which, is for some reason, it's weird that we have basketball games and they're the ones struggling with server issues.
Right.
And not games, have you played PlanetSide 2?
No.
Okay, yeah. PlanetSide 2's got, it's a PC game. It's got a really large scale battles, 200 some people on a map.
Wow.
And there's never any issues. I haven't had any issues with that when I was playing that a few years ago.
Right.
And and there's explosions and all the other stuff going on, so kind of surprising. But really, it's really with both Live and 2K, it's not going to matter too much, what the how the game plays, But once you get to online, if those servers aren't right, it's not gonna matter.
Yeah,
For those that want to play online, if those servers are not right for both games, it's gonna hurt your game more than help it.
true.
So, but no, I think the one is a good addition. I like that they're letting you play how you want, and expressing yourself on the court
Right.
through clothes and celebration animations and all that stuff. I like
Right.
that a lot. I I was I haven't decided if I'm gonna pick it up this year, because if you pre-order it, it's $40 versus paying the full 60 for it.
Right.
Or I may just wait till it comes on EA Access and get it for free. I haven't decided yet.
Yeah. I mean, I'm probably gonna do the latter and wait for it to come on EA Access.
That's fair.
But also, to be fair, I don't think I'm going to be picking up 2K18, so it's not like I'm going to be,
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, getting one basketball game over the other.
Right. Yeah. It makes sense.
But yeah, I mean, I kind of like the content too, like the being able to play co-ops. There was one bug that I experienced in live that I'll bring up that really killed it for me, and so if this doesn't get fixed, then I don't think I'm gonna play it. And that's
Right.
that whenever I started a private match with friends to try and join up and play against other online people, they would have to quit down to being just me. Then it would start to fill up. They'd have to join, and then it would fill up. Each time one of my friends joined on my side, then it would fill up someone else to play.
Yeah, that was. I think me and you went through an experience with that. It was not fun having
Hmm.
to go back and wait for the invite or wait, to give me the cue to join or
Yeah,
whatever.
and you could see that the way it was set up is that it would fill the home side, and then it would
Right.
fill the away side. And if there was more people on the home side than the away side, it wouldn't fill it up. But it
Yeah.
also,
Really
for
good.
some reason, wouldn't add someone on the home side to fill up the away side.
Right.
So it was
Now
weird
they
because,
did.
yeah,
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say it was weird because when like I would be by myself, then it would have someone join up, and then I would either
Right.
have you join, and then it would load a second person on the away team, and then one of the other friends would join, then it would load somebody up. We never got to five full team because we couldn't get everyone in there. Like it was only playing 3 or 4 people at the same time.
Right. Exactly. They did patch in the ability to play once you hit level 20.
Yeah, that's
After
true.
level, which is great. Means now I can actually go back and actually play more. But
Right.
I stopped playing once I got close to 20. I was like, I don't want to hit 20. I gotta stop playing.
I
So
know. I
really glad they did that.
actually deleted my character and started over, which was
Ah,
okay because I kept all of the items that I had gotten up to that
yeah,
point.
that's true. That's good.
So when I started over, I could then get more items that I couldn't get before.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so it was okay, but yeah, I guess that's all I can't think of anything else to say. Like it was an okay experience. Like it was definitely better than Live 16 for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. There's one thing that bothered me though is that I felt that it was still a little too easy to score in the paint, especially with a smaller guy. Like my shooting guard's 6'5", 215, and I'm going into the paint, and there's big power forwards and centers in there, and despite the animations, I'm still scoring pretty much at will in the paint, which should not be happening.
Hmm.
So they're hopefully will make changes to that as well. That way, it's more difficult to score in the paint, and the contact layups and contact actually makes it difficult to make the shot.
Right. I
Because
gotcha.
while those are while those are more difficult shots, and they should miss majority a good amount of the time, they shouldn't be going in as much as they are now, in my opinion.
Right. Well, I mean, part of me is though like, you're gonna make 99% of the shots you take from under the basket, unless there's somebody there to slap that ball away. Like, you're gonna make those shots. So unless you're fouled or somebody's blocking it, those should be easy shots because you're right there under the basket and you just have to go bloop. So,
Yeah, but you can't go bloop. Yeah, but you can't go bloop when you have a 6'10", 7-foot power forward or center, just there in your face or bumping you as you're going up into the air for a shot, for the layup or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
So that's not. I'm talking more so about the contact.
Right. Yeah.
Shots and
contact shots. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah,
that makes
those
sense.
kinds of things.
Right.
The breakaways, absolutely. Unless you're being chased down, of course, and you'll get
Right.
blocked.
Right.
But yeah, so Lab 18. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with it for sure.
Right.
How it all progresses. So onto the 2K18 Prelude that came out last night at midnight Eastern Time.
Yeah.
I downloaded it last night before I went to bed, and I played it. Well, I guess hours ago now.
Yeah.
But I played it. You played it earlier today, right? As well.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. So, what did you think about it? What are your thoughts on the whole thing?
Well, if I had to describe it in one word, I would say underwhelming.
Okay.
Like, I played it to completion, and the story, like, it feels like we've gone back to NBA 2K15. Like the level of the story in 17 and 16 were really good. Like, they felt realistic, and like I feel like I could relate to those characters.
And the production value?
Yeah. And now they've gone back to like 2K15, where it feels like, ooh, it's wacky crazy. I mean, for one, the main guy is like living in this ginormous basement where you have to take an elevator to get down to his house.
It was like, where are you living at, bruh?
I know. Like,
House?
bro, you got so much money, you don't need an NBA career, bud. Like, you're already set for life. You got this huge ass place.
Yeah.
You know?
It's really weird to me.
Yeah.
They do that. They don't give you like an apartment or something.
Yeah, and like, I don't know if it was his girlfriend or friend or lover or what. But
Yeah,
V, yeah, she came off way too over the top. Like,
she was extremely over the top. I will agree with you 100%.
Yeah, like, tone her down just a little bit.
I got a kick out of it. Absolute kick out of it. I love the over the top nature of a lot of things, depending on what it is. If you present it to me in a manner that I can, okay, this is what it is, over the top, that's fine. Whatever, I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
But if you like, for example, if someone in the the character, the Spike in Spike Lee joint,
yeah,
the owner character, while he had some great lines, one of my favorites, "Y'all be haters, don't hate my game," or something. That was a fantastic line. Dude was really over the top in what I thought was a more serious story.
Yeah, it definitely.
So that
was.
kind of threw me off a little bit.
Yeah.
But with this so far, I mean, I haven't. I don't know what the tone of it is yet. I
Hmm.
was trying to figure it out. And I couldn't quite figure it out, but it looks like it's going to be a little more over the top and wacky.
I think it's gonna be really over the top and wacky. Um, but yeah, I mean, we'll talk about, I guess, what they let you do
Yeah, let's
because
do that before they get bored.
yeah, because they start off. You play two 3-on-3 games, um, and then you play a 5-on-5 game, and then you play two scrimmages, which with whichever team you said was your favorite team when you
Right.
started. And while that's, I thought the scrimmages were actually really cool.
Yeah, the
Um,
scrimmages were cool.
yeah, playing against the other, I guess the team, because my favorite team is the Utah Jazz. Just put that out there. Um, and so getting to play with those guys, like that just seemed really cool to me. You know, scrimmaging with them. Little disappointed that the prelude ended like almost immediately after those scrimmages are done. You know,
Yeah,
like
no, yeah, I agree. We'll get there. Come back to it.
come back. All right.
Yeah, we'll come back to it.
Um, so I don't know what you picked. I decided that I wanted to pick a driving small forward, and so a driving and dunking, and so I picked that for both his main attribute and his sub attribute.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and the reason why I did that is because it unlocked more legendary badges than if I had
Okay.
just gone with a main and a sub instead of having it be
Okay.
both my main and sub.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a shooting guard, like
Yep.
always,
Yep.
and I was really struggling, having a hard time picking the archetypes, honestly, because I wanted something where I could do everything well, uh, but still, do everything well on offense, but still play good defense.
Yeah.
So after looking through the archetypes, um, I decided to go with the uh the shot the shot creator
Uh huh.
and the defender archetypes.
Okay.
Because with the shot creator, you still have you can shoot from mid range really well. Your 3-pointer is okay. You got your dunks. Your dunks are good. So dunk on people.
Yep.
And I want to be able to, and I pride myself on defense. So
Right.
so defense is one of those things that I was keying in on immediately. So that's why
Right.
I went with the defender as my second archetype. There are no Hall of Fame badges for mine because of the ones that I picked. I
Mm.
actually I think I have one or two, but I don't really care about Hall of Fame badges, honestly. Gold's
Right.
fine to me. I never really made it far enough anyway to get any of the higher end badges.
Right.
Once they made you work for them instead of having to buy them through BC. Yeah.
Yeah. There
So
was there was five five Hall of Fame or legendary badges, whatever they're called, for my archetype. Whereas if I'd gone with any other type, it would have just been one.
yeah, but I'm hoping that with all these archetypes, that we really see a lot of different options and different archetypes for when we're playing against other people online. Because I don't want to see everybody picking, the same few archetypes,
Yeah. Shot
because
creator. Shot creator.
yeah, because a YouTuber or whoever said, this is the best build or whatever it may be, is I'm just that's just one of my concerns. And as always, those servers though.
Right.
2K notorious for server issues.
Yep.
So and with this big neighborhood thing that they're doing, none of it's gonna matter if those servers don't work.
True. Um, I guess to that effect, though, I mean, unless they change the way they're doing this, you can create multiple archetypes for your character. So people may try out stuff, and then they'll go in and just make a new character and whatever that YouTuber says. So, hey, let's go with this archetype.
Mm-hmm.
That's always a possibility.
Yeah, that's true. What did you think about the games themselves, though? 'Cause I know you said you liked the scrimmage, but what about the 3v3 and the 5-on-5 street games?
I kind of felt they were lame, and part of it could be because it was just white versus black uniforms.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I didn't pick defending as my archetype. I probably had about 6 or 7 blocks in those 3 games. There were the street games. And so it's kind of like, okay, so I don't need to be a defender to actually block shots. Like,
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, I was struggling a little bit on defense. I had a guy in the 5v5 I bumped him and he went by me 2 times and exploded off for a dunk both times.
mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, I thought the legendary court they did was nice. Like, that looked really cool.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
Otherwise, the 3v3 was kind of, I don't know, I wasn't feeling it then.
Yeah. Did you have the issue where your AI teammates would just stand there with the ball?
No.
Okay, I did, yeah. I had a few times where, I'd pass them the ball and they would just stand there in ISO and not move anywhere until I called for the ball again. I'm like, come on, we gotta move. This is basketball. You can't just stand here. You gotta move, my guy.
Weird. Maybe that had to do with the position. Because like I said, I picked a small forward.
Maybe.
And I didn't have any problems whatsoever.
Maybe. I don't know. And another thing that, going back to the characters, your character name is DJ. I'm not sure if that's a nickname or what, but bothers me a little bit because, I mean, and it's funny I'm gonna say this because I'm a proponent of having a set character.
Yeah.
For certain things, like I was all aboard the long shot, trim with Devin Wade and all that, but I guess like I don't know. It's weird for me, I guess, to say that I wasn't a fan of it.
Right.
I guess it's because I already had like a nickname set for me, like, and it's especially one that DJ. DJ is usually a short for a name of some sort.
Right, like Don Juan.
Yeah, or whatever, right.
And not disc jockey.
Now, come to find out that your My Career character quit basketball for a while to go be a DJ. Thus the nickname DJ. That's what he calls himself. So, okay, whatever. I see where you're going with that. But let me pick my nickname. Can I get lights out for the upteenth year in a row? Can I be lights out Reed?
I'm sure they will, but
I hope so.
Does that mean that you didn't like Prez?
I mean,
or frequency vibrations?
It's fine. Frequency vibrations not so much. Prez was fine too. Like but again, I think DJ. When I think DJ, I don't think that's a nickname. I think that is short for something else. So Prez or Freak, those are nicknames to me. DJ to me is not a nickname. Like it's.
Yeah.
Okay, no, it is, but again, like it's usually short for something else.
Yeah. Like ATM.
Like you said, Don Juan or ATM. That guy, clown.
Yeah.
I was nice to him. I was nice to my team for that first game, and we won. Me
too. And then I tore him up in the Legend game.
Yeah. the gameplay felt nice though. It did feel slower, like you said.
Yeah, it felt slower.
2K. It felt slower than other 2Ks. which I like personally.
One issue I had though was that I picked a driving dunker, like I said,
Yeah.
and I felt slower than everybody else on the court.
Hmm.
Like, I'm supposed to be a driver and a dunker, so I'm supposed to be fast and able to move around people. And I felt like, especially on the fast break, like everybody would just pass me by, and I'd be going at granny speed trying to get down the court.
Yeah, I had a few issues with that too. And like I said, I was a defender, so you gotta have the lateral quickness and speed to keep up with people. So it's kind
Hmm.
of jarring, like I said, when you get blown by twice.
Yeah,
But who knows? Maybe the archetype of the person I was going against was better than me at that moment, which is fine. It
right.
happens. Prelude was really short, though. I was surprised that it was over. I was like, "That's it,"
I know. I
and
mean,
I can't even go back and explore anymore. The neighborhood, can I? I haven't
I
messed
know.
around with it yet, but
I know. Well, not only did they not let you explore the neighborhood, but they didn't even put the neighborhood trailer at the end of it. Like, there's going to be people that are just like, oh, 2K, they don't even know about the neighborhood.
hmm
And so, because you don't put that out there, people playing this, they're still going to be confused or maybe, like, not even be interested in getting it and not even know about this huge neighborhood that's within 2K.
right, exactly. So
So,
it's
yeah,
kind of interesting.
they
We'll see
dropped the
how that
ball.
goes. Yeah, they probably did with that. We'll see though. We'll see once it releases here
Right.
soon. Coming up pretty soon.
Yep.
Next few weeks, I believe. I don't know that date right now offhand.
I thought it was the 15th. I thought it's next week.
Wow, if that's the case, then all right.
I could be wrong, but I was pretty sure it was next week.
Okay, that's the case. It's very cool. So I think we should move on to the next one. Yeah,
Yeah,
keep this thing moving.
let's do it.
Yeah, NHL 18. There was a beta for it for the 3v3 and the EA Sports Hockey League,
Yep.
which was really fun. This
Hmm.
was a month or so ago, 2 months ago.
Yeah, I think it was 2 months ago. It was
Yeah,
before the NBA Live 18 beta.
yes, yep, it definitely was. Yeah, we had a really good time with that.
We
I think
did.
we did anyway.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I hadn't played an NHL game since NHL 12, so for me that was a fun experience, and actually being able to play with another person online like that, akin to Pro Am in the NBA games,
Hmm.
was really fun for me to do all that. The
Yeah,
3v3 was a lot of fun, different, but a lot of fun.
yeah. I would agree
I
with
still
you.
prefer normal hockey.
I don't know, like, I mean, as a kid, I remember that I would play every sports game, hockey and football and baseball and basketball and whatever.
Yeah.
And now as I've gotten older, I really narrowed it down where I really only play basketball and football. But this demo that they had and having the EA Hockey League where you can play with friends and just random people playing on a 3v3 or a 5v5, like, I had so much fun that it makes me want to play the NHL game. It makes me want to download, buy whatever. Although with that being said, I only want to play that mode. Like, I'm
Right.
not so much into NHL that if I got it, would I play in the franchise or would I play, online against other people? I'd really only want to do this EA Hockey League because that was what was fun when I played this beta.
Yeah,
Yeah, in fact,
that's
like, I'd be willing to download the EA Access because became available today, just to play that again with some friends.
yeah. I may have
Nudge,
to do
nudge.
that. Download it, check it out. Looking forward to playing more of the NHL game. I'm probably gonna download it and fire up a franchise with my Caps and see how it goes.
Right.
See if we can actually make it to the goddamn Stanley Cup. We never do.
Yeah.
Get
there,
close every year and lose to the goddamn Penguins.
right? There was one really nice thing about the EA Hockey League that I wanted to bring up that I thought was really nice, and I kind of wish other sports games would actually do this.
Right.
And that's when you were playing online with people, you would pick your position, and then you would pick what archetype you wanted, and that archetype would give you what stats you had. Compare that to NBA, where you can be whatever archetype you want, and you can be a 99 overall. So if you're a brand new person coming on to play, you're just a piddly little 60 overall, and you're going to get your butt handed to you because they've been able to grind more than you have.
Right.
And
or spend more money in some cases.
Exactly. And so that's something that I wish that other sports games would do, is just give you the archetypes already, and they're at their max stats, and you just pick which one you want to play as.
Yeah, because it makes it for a different kind of game. If you are a defender, in hockey, you're gonna want to pick. There's different defender traits and all that stuff, versus a goalie or a center. Any of the other positions, there's different traits for those.
Exactly.
So it makes you different from whoever else.
Yep.
Not saying that others don't, but again, like you were saying, it's the balance and level advantages that come with it.
Yeah, exactly. And it makes it so that anyone can start playing online and be just as good as somebody that's been playing forever.
Right, in terms of attributes.
Yeah. And so I appreciated that, because I don't think I could invest, 20 hours into NHL to be a superstar player. And hell, I can't even do that with NBA.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Like I think the highest I got last year was like an 85. I don't even think I got up to the max, which is 89.
Yeah, I think that was the highest I got last year too. It'd be interesting. But no, man. Let's go to the final one that I want to talk about, which will probably be mostly me. It'd be interesting. WWE 2K18, the full roster has been revealed, and let me say, there is a surprising amount of current talent on the roster. More than I thought was going to actually make it into the game. Because usually, there are a few guys, there's, a bunch of current talent that's missing due to cutoff dates or whatever it may be. Mm-hmm. This year, they got a lot of talent from NXT. The big ones for me are NXT guys. NXT guys and girls, anyway. They're all coming in. There's a few that are missing, like Andrade Almas, he's missing. Aleister Black is missing. A few others are missing, but most of the big ones are in. Nikki Cross, Asuka, DIY. All this pain are in there, which I'm surprised they made it in. But yeah, the roster's been revealed. There have been screenshots. There's been some gameplay stuff that they've shown, but not a whole lot else honestly has been shown. They haven't shown off the creation suite or the changes to universe mode or the My Career stuff yet. So until any of that stuff comes out, just kind of have to wait and speculate about what they're going to do with that stuff. My big thing is universe mode. I like to, write up universe mode and have storylines and all the other stuff going on. And I type it up and I put it on Operation Sports, and it's really fun for me. I have to finish up and get to SummerSlam in the one that in 2K17 before I actually hang it up. So I hope they make some big changes for universe mode for 2K18. That way I can become more invested and actually care about it more, and not have to rely so much on my own imagination. Not that that's a bad thing at all, but it's just, it makes it easier when the game will do things that I want it to do. When it doesn't, it creates problems.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, with the rivalry manager, for example, you can set rivalries, and there'll be cutscenes and all the other stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then the rivalries can last for 4, 8, or 12 weeks, depending on however long you set it for. And depending on what type of rivalry, if it's a tag team rivalry, if it's singles rivalry. With this comes issues. Two of the big ones for me being that, number one, in singles rivalries, or in both rivalries, in both kinds of rivalries, really, the two people in the rivalry will face off with each other numerous times before the pay-per-view in singles matches, which usually doesn't happen. They usually don't meet, or this is how I would do it. If I'm doing a rivalry, I don't let the two people meet each other in a match, single or tag team, until it comes time for the blow up at the pay-per-view. That's how I always set my storylines up. 2K, that's not the case. Like I said, they will face off multiple times, sometimes 4 weeks in a row, until the pay-per-view. So I hope that gets fixed. And there's another one that's happened to me a few times this year. I've had to write around it in my write-ups for Universe Mode. This is for tag team rivalries. For tag team rivalries, there's an issue where, for some reason, the two teams will switch partners. So, for example, it'll be the Revival, who's Dash Wilder and Scott Dawson, and let's say they're feuding with the Usos, and the Usos are Jimmy and Jay. So it'll be Scott Wilder and Jay Uso versus Jimmy Uso and Dash Wilder or Scott Dawson. Why would that happen? Right. You know what I mean? That doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Yep.
So I hope that they fix those things and they add more ways to make your universe more customizable, allow you to, choose your rivalry stories or whatever it may be. So I just want more things like that, and improve on the promos and things like that. So I'm looking forward to all that and seeing how all that goes. So
yeah.
I think.
Sorry, I do like.
It's okay.
100% nothing with WWE anymore. So.
Right. That's it. Fair enough.
I will have to plead the fifth.
It's all right. It's all right, man. It's okay. So, I think it's time to move on to our community segment. Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Community segment.
Ooh.
Never mind. It took forever to play, and then I started to talk. It started to play.
Of course. Of course. That's how it's been going for us. Keep it moving.
Freaking Murphy's Law.
Yeah. So, for our community segment this week, we just want to know, what sports games are you excited for this upcoming year and or season? Because there are other ones coming out that we didn't talk about.
Mm-hmm. Like the show.
Well, I mean, yeah, but there's Super Mega Baseball, which is Super Mega Baseball 2, actually, which I happened to pick up the first one on a whim. It was free to play. It's really fun. It's an arcadey baseball game. It's really fun, man. Really fun. Over the top. I love it. But no, what sports games are you looking forward to? And just let us know, and we will read those answers in next week's episode of the podcast.
Or if you're enjoying a current sporting game or sports game.
Thank you. That's why you're here. See, that's why you're here, to help me when I forget things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's going to just about wrap it up. But before we get into our round of plugs, I did want to take a minute and discuss something, and just let you all know why things haven't been going like they probably should have been.
Mm-hmm.
You all know about the computer issues and all that other stuff that I have had to deal with, and really that we've had to deal with.
Yep.
Because we're doing this, just sort of on our phones right now, because we have, we want to get these out to you guys, and unfortunately, we haven't had the ability to do that as much as we would have liked. But one of the other reasons why it's taken so long for us to get this out, and it's all on me, I personally struggle with depression, and it's not a fun thing at all. And it can sap your energy and sap your motivation to do a lot of things. And when it gets bad, it can get bad. Like I said, it can sap motivation to do a lot of things. So that's the other reason why we sort of took a break, was because I was not feeling my best. So if there are any of you out there that are struggling with depression or whatever the case may be, just know that you're not alone, and it is okay to talk to someone about whatever's going on in your life. If you have a support system, or even if you don't, there are places you can go, people you can talk to. There's phone numbers you can use. There's so many different avenues out there for you to talk about things with people and to try to work on yourself and get yourself right. Because eventually you do bounce back. You do come out of that hole, and you do eventually find yourself, and you come back to a place of normalcy where you can do things again until eventually you are back to your old self. So yeah, I just wanted to address that and get that out of the way. Was there anything else you wanted to say before we hit the road, my friend?
Well, I didn't want to interrupt you there
No,
because
you're okay.
I mean that's an important issue that maybe doesn't get talked about enough. And maybe if we just talk about it more, there'll be less problems or less heartbreak.
Yeah.
Just finding someone that you can talk to is going to be more helpful than holding it in.
Yeah, definitely. Because I know for me personally, whenever I hold things in, it just gets worse, and I let it fester, and it gets to me, and then it's, like I said, it just becomes a worse situation than what it would have been had I taken the time out to talk to someone about it.
Yeah. It's kind of like a
Yeah.
kamehameha, in that if you don't just talk about it, you're not really going to be able to shoot it out as opposed to keeping it in and not being able to live with yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And,
I know that's
I
that's probably a bad way to describe it, and I don't want the mood to be too dark, but no, I just wanted that was the first thing that came to my mind was Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, no, it's good. You're fine. I just wanted to, let the listeners know, why we've been absent for a while, and just know that, I do care about the show. And I was talking to, the guys who run the whole thing, Noah and Jose, about it, and they're letting me know, guys, it's okay. Take your time, find yourself, get back, and we'll be here. The podcast will be fine. Like,
Right.
we're okay with it. And that really helped me too. So, shouts out to those guys for letting me take my time and work my way back to where I am now. So the plan is to be more consistent like we used to be when we first started this thing. Because, we should be at more episodes than 14. And that a lot of things got in the way of that. And this is one of those things where, again, I had to let you guys know, because if I don't, it's gonna look bad, and I want to let you guys know that this is what's going on. So I hope that all of you listening, will really appreciate, all the hard work that goes into doing what we do over here, even if it's not as often as we would like. But like I said, the plan is to get back to some sort of consistency.
Yep.
Yeah. So with that being said, let's go into a round of plugs, my friend.
Yeah. So be sure to follow us on Twitter. We are the R&R Gaming Pod on Twitter. My personal Twitter account is Makarobov, or MACROBOV. Joystick also has theirs, which is Joystick Ent, or JOYSTIKENT.
Yep. And if you want to follow me, you can follow me at Braun1417. That is capital B RON 1417. And pretty much same thing on Instagram as well. And my Twitch is B_Ron 1417. All of those letters are lowercase. Find me for my Twitch streams. I'm hoping to get some Destiny 2 up for you guys tomorrow at some point. Hopefully that'll be great. If not tomorrow, then hopefully soon. There's a bunch of other games that I want to stream too, but mostly just Destiny 2 right now. We'll get there. So thank you guys for listening, and if you have stuck it out this far, kudos to you. Extra kudos to you for sticking out this far, sticking through the inspirational message there at the end. I hope this finds all of you well, and until next time, please come back. Ken, tell them why.
Because everyone could use a little more R&R.